Okay, Bruno, so I really enjoyed your score. I thought that the mock up was excellent. The way that you both orchestrated in an appropriate style and also used the mock up to its best effect. There was a funny sound in there, and that was right here. The sound of the celesta, the note performer sound, was was sounding a strike tone below these thirds. And that is just something that you run into. That's a danger that you run into with harmony on bell instruments, is that certain combinations will create well, I mean, everything has got overtones and even undertones, right? The actual strike tone of a bell is something that our brain is manufacturing that actually may not exist. If you record certain bells and then go through them with a graphic equalizer, you will soon find that they do not have the actual tone that you think you're hearing. Like, you will just zero out everything except for that frequency where you would expect to hear the strike tone, and there won't be anything there. That's a beautiful magic trick to play on your friends. But in this case, the certain harmonic combinations can actually create a strike tone that may not actually be in the harmony or tonality of the passage that you're playing. And that actually happened here. I don't think that would happen on a real celesta, but it did happen with these sound sets. All right? So let's go through a few scoring things here and there. First thing is, this doesn't really make any sense for wind players, right? It would be better for you to have your slurred staccato and then accent following, right? But slurring into an accent from slurred staccato is, everybody's going to get what you mean there, but it really is just not the right way to score that, okay? So just slurred staccato, mezzo staccato, and then accent with a different breath, right? So because really what you're asking here for the player to do is going, you know what I mean? And it's better for them to go, or ta, right? That just makes much more sense, right? You want a tongued note right on the downbeat here instead of just a, okay? So that's one thing. There was, let's see, what was, well, anything else I will just comment as I come to it. All right, so let's talk about the scoring of this entry. Very cool. I really love the combination of bassoons and the middle strings here, the cellos and violas. Okay, so bum 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 bum. So all right, yeah. Here's the other thing that just comes to mind now. You're not telling me how much of everybody is playing at once, right? Who is this? One flute, two flutes, two oboes, two clarinets? That really makes a huge difference. So that's something I needed to know, right? The same thing. You come back in here. Is that first flute? Is that second flute? Is that both flutes? Now, I shouldn't, I'm not going to scold you about that too much because I left a couple of markings off of my score, so I am no angel in this regard in this particular challenge. With my own entry, I left a couple of things off. So, but all the same, it's not about me, it's about you and you getting this score ready for the stands, right? And by that I mean by ready for the music stands for the reading or performance or rehearsal or whatever. So that is something you should do. Now here you have put in some grayscale piano. So these are invisible objects. You don't need to mark piano again because the note performer crescendo and diminuendo lines will take you right back to the same level of loudness. Right, so this is going to be just the same again. So you don't really need to mark them again. All right, ba-da-da-dum. And I like the little extra comments down here from the second violins. Okay, so the problem with this is that as the passage goes by, and it is becoming more and more expressive going towards the end of the first 8 bars. There's no filling in. Da 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 ba da 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 bum 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 bum. Right, and like there just isn't any more texture. There isn't any more meat to the. I mean, here is a place where you really could have filled in more harmony as you went, right? Until you finally ended up here. So that I feel is something that I mean, I don't want to say that that's a standard thing everybody should do, but it just here you could feel the absence pretty severely. Now, I really love this. Once again, we're forgetting that D sharp is the actual melody note and the F sharp is just harmony. Now, but what you did here in the horns was beautiful. That is just really great. So you are forgiven. Now, moving on here, dun, 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 dun. I've already talked about the problem of mezzo staccato, right, and then slurring over mezzo staccato into an accent, which has this is just going to be a diaphragmatic accent rather than a tongued accent, which is so much more powerful, right? And especially if your winds have got to compete against or have got to blend with this muted trumpet right in here, then especially this should be a tongued accent, right? Not just a diaphragmatic accent. All right. Now, so here it makes sense, like with the celestes, because this is like piano phrasing, and then the same thing here. But like harp, mezzo staccato on harp is just really fiddly. You might as well just get rid of that. I mean, it is playable, but if you've got pizzicato happening in the violas, there's just absolutely zero need for you to finesse the harp playing mezzo staccato here. Now, one thing that I thought was very original was just this little upbeat or kind of thing on the snare drum. Okay, so here, I mean, I like it, but there's not. I didn't feel that there was enough of a contrast between the two timbres, right? The call and response. So you had your bum 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 bum, and there was no resolution. It just went dun 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 dun. It didn't go dun 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 ba da. Right? There's no da da note in either of these phrases, which is in the piano part. You just went dun 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 dun, bum 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 bum. That's all right, but I mean there are a couple of notes here or there, maybe in the clarinet or the oboe right in here. You could have resolved the little harmony in there. But the main problem here was just that you are contrasting mezzo forte, flutes, oboes, bassoons, and a little bit of trumpet, plus celesta and pizzicato. You're contrasting that with very soft clarinets and bassoons and harp and pizzicato once again, right? So I feel maybe you could get away with this if you didn't play so softly, right? I mean, we're missing these upbeats in here. They're not really upbeats. They're half beats. So we're missing that sense of pacing, right? So maybe it is enough that you are telescoping, you are compressing, or not compressing, you are collapsing the sound picture enough to where you don't have to mark it pianissimo, right? Maybe just mezzo piano or piano would be a better contrast. Okay? All right. So, and then bum, 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 bum. So now here I feel that this is maybe not a mistake, but just, you go da 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 da, and you go right back up again with your flutes and your violins, and then you all go all the way up to C sharp here, right? So we don't have a sense of like the music doesn't just da 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 dum. We don't really hear that it's resting on a lower pitch now. We just da 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 dum. It just doesn't really have that same sense of calming at the end when you jump right back up again. Kind of neat the way that you threw in the timpani there. I'm not so sure how effective it is right here at the end, but I think that it is cool that you have a few notes in there. So here, this was actually pretty cool that you had the violins in unison, all the violins in unison, plus the cellos an octave below, and then you had all of this other stuff going on here in the brass, and that actually went pretty well. See, so like if you could just keep the motion downwards and cut the flute, and then have the violins finish off down on this lower F sharp, and then just cut off that, just change what's going on here, then I think that this would be a much more this would convey the original idea of the piano music better. But I mean, if you just want to take it in your own direction, that's cool too. All right. Now, on to the second part. Bum 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 da da dum bum ba da dum bum 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 bum. Okay, this is all fun. So you've got your flutes, oboes, clarinets, and so on. That's all going to be kind of band-like right in here. If you don't mind that kind of slight band-like sound, right? If you want to avoid it, then I would say probably make sure that these are all marked as single winds, so it's more like a wind quintet or a wind quartet, and then throw in some more doubling by the strings, and you'll take away some of that kind of more band sound. Now here, this is really a massive unison on all of these notes, right? So you've got the oboes teaming up with the clarinets, and then an octave below that we've got the bassoons. So, and then instead of too much climbing, you just throw the flutes on top right here, but there's like no support from the there's no support up there from the strings, right? So the strings are really playing a background role here, and then you have the strings continue on, right? And then the winds are drop out for the first beat. So I'm not so sure how successful that is, but like you do throw in the trumpet instead here. So I mean, there's some cool ideas here, and yeah, dun 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 dun, and then yeah, and the tuba is going to be incredibly strong right in here, along with the trumpets. Now you're really going low down there to that G. This would be a good place to trade off right on this B. So like just have this B in your whichever trumpet. I don't know. Is this first trumpet, second trumpet, both trumpets? I don't know what this is. Let's assume it's the first trumpet. All right, so first trumpet trading off to that same pitch for the trombones, right? And then carrying on. Okay, that would be a lot more secure, right? But I mean, that low G is possible, but it's just not very nice sounding, and it's going to be, forte, diminuendo to piano. This is going to stand out still, right? Even though you've got other stuff going on, you've got the other strings and so on. I mean, maybe even would be better on horn, right? So just maybe think about some of that, all right? So, all right, and then da-da-dum, bum, ba-da-dum, bum, ba. So, yeah. So this is stronger right in here, the way that this is scored. I mean, but once again, of course, it's just pretty. I'm not going to say obvious, but just very, very, very organized along a much more traditional approach. And then this nice big chord just sort of hanging in midair, and then this little resolution at the end. I feel this is too soft, right? I think this should just be like piano, simplice, right? That would be a better way to organize that. It just right now just feels like a little, almost like a little throwaway. All right, but still pretty cool. I love the idea of a trill here in the celesta. This could also be done as a finger tremolo, right? Just like the celesta player going 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 on that same G natural. Now, the thing about that is the tremolo on celesta is not the easiest thing to do because the action on a celesta is somewhat sluggish, right? But there is you can sort of do it. You just have to kind of work yourself up to it and just deal with the slower action. But it is possible. Anyway, but really just a charming chord right in here, and that was nicely done. I'm not so sure that you really need that high D there in the piccolo, or that you really even need piccolo at all. I mean, I know you want to go all the way up to this D sharp here with the way that this is scored, but I mean, I don't really think that you need it. But anyway, but you did end up scoring more. Like you went on and you scored a lot of the rest of the piece, or I think most of it or all of it. And I wish that I could evaluate that. So yeah, so maybe if you're just really feeling rambunctious and you want me to do a huge workover, spend about an hour talking about all the different things in your piece, then consider possibly next challenge supporting at the dotted brev level. And I'm just really happy to look over every part and talk about it and really give it the thorough analysis. All right, but this is pretty good. I just really like this beginning. Very strong, a lot to tweak, but still some excellent approaches in here and really nice colors. So thank you so much for this entry and for supporting on Patreon. Really do appreciate it. And now I will take a very short break from the Patreon entries and then come back with the new dotted semi-brev level entries.